Here at Chase Field. First pitch is coming up. It's the series finale. The Giants and the Diamondbacks, an NL West rivalry, and the D-backs have their ace on the mound when we come back Labor Day weekend here at Chase Field. By Sanderson Ford. Labor Day weekend Sunday here at Chase Field. The black and purple throwbacks put away. The Sedona red is back on, and it's almost game on here at Chase Field. After another walk-off win last night, the Diamondbacks took 2 of 3 from the Padres on this homestand and looking to do the same here against the rival San Francisco Giants before welcoming in the Toronto Blue Jays for the first of 3 tomorrow. And Bob, they frankly, at this point, September 1st here, we'll see you in September, need every win they can get.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We've talked about it repeatedly over the last couple of weeks. Obviously, the Diamondbacks need a little bit of help from outside, but the only thing they can control is going to take place right here in the ballpark today. They just need to take care of their own business behind Patrick Corbin.
Right now, we pause to honor America. Here now, the voice of Chase Field, Mr. Chuck Drago.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise and please remove your hats. Please direct your attention to the field as we honor the United States of America and pay tribute to our veterans, active duty, and retired men and women of our armed services. The Arizona Diamondbacks and the San Francisco Giants invite you to join in the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner, performed by United States Marine Corps veteran and Intel employee Rico Salveria.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Rally against the Giants, and the Diamondbacks have their all-star ace on the mound. It's the 27th start for Patrick Corbin. 13 wins, an ERA that is 6th best in the major leagues. WHIP, which measures how many base runners a pitcher allows, walks plus hits per innings pitched, is 8th best in the big leagues.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Patrick bounces back from what is arguably his worst start of the year against the Phillies last time out. He had that Sunday day game after the 18-inning night game. Probably didn't get to sleep until around 4:30 in the morning. Got up early to come back and start that game. And very uncharacteristically, he was a little rattled out there on the mound. Had trouble throwing strikes. You see the numbers from that start. 104 pitches in just 5 1/3. Expecting big things from Patrick today.
Joaquin Arias fouls off the first pitch. Underway on Labor Day Sunday at Chase Field. Glad you're with us, as the Diamondbacks look to take 2 of 3 against the Giants. Arias getting the start at shortstop at .275 and a home run. That one is hit in the air to right field. Gerardo Parra, lots of room. One away. This is Bruce Bochy's lineup, and a very different look here, Bob, on a Sunday after the night game. And Patrick Corbin on the mound, a left-hander. A lot of complications for this lineup.
Yeah, it looks like a spring training split squad. Joaquin Arias at the top. We've seen him. Tony Abreu playing second base today. Buster Posey at first. Hunter Pence, Pablo Sandoval, Brett Pill in the middle. Hector Sanchez doing the catching today. Gregor Blanco out in center field, and Yusmeiro Petit on the mound.
And Tony Abreu at the plate, getting the start at second base. Abreu hasn't played since July 28th. He's back from a rehab assignment. Reinstated from the DL today. He has missed the last month or so with left knee bursitis. Former Diamondback, 81 games with Arizona in 2010. Right back to the mound. 5 pitches and 2 outs for Patrick Corbin. Defensively, the Diamondbacks have an Eaton, Pollock, Parra outfield left to right.
Maybe a split squad for the Giants, but Kirk Gibson running his A-team out there. Eaton in left, Pollock in center, Parra in right. It'll be Prado and Bloomquist on the left side of the infield. Hill and Goldschmidt on the right side. Miguel Montero once again behind a plate for left-hander Patrick Corbin.
And after starting last night's ball game in left field, Martin Prado back at third. 2 down, Buster Posey playing first base for the Giants today. 304 and 14 homers. He has a pair of hits in this series, both coming in last night's game. A couple of singles and an RBI. Bob, the thing for the Diamondbacks in this series is the guys that have traditionally done the damage against the D-backs. Posey, Belt, Sandoval. They've done a pretty good job containing those guys.
It's about time. Boy, they have done some serious damage against the Diamondbacks over the last few seasons. No Brandon Belt today, but you're always going to have to deal with Buster Posey.
Chopped in front of the mound, right back to Patrick. A 9-pitch inning for Patrick Corbin. 3 up, 3 down, home half on the way. Arizona Diamondbacks, 4 games over 500, 10.5 back of the Dodgers for the NL West lead. Los Angeles hosting the Padres today. That's Zach Greinke versus Tyson Ross. D-backs 6 back of the Reds for that second NL wild card. The Reds at Colorado this afternoon. Mike Leake and Tyler Chatwood. This is the Diamondbacks lineup here against the Giants.
Willie Bloomquist once again at the top of the order, followed by Adam Eaton and Paul Goldschmidt. It'll be Prado, Hill, Montero in the middle, A.J. Pollock, Gerardo Parra, and Patrick Corbin bringing up the rear.
Just the second start this season and only the 39th of his career for Yusmeiro Petit, the former Diamondback. This season he's worked 11 innings, given up 12 hits, and struck out 13.
He's always been a strike thrower, a 4-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio in his minor league career. Fastball, curveball, slider, changeup combination. At times he will rely heavily on those breaking pitches.
Willie Bloomquist will lead it off for the Diamondbacks. Big night last night against the Giants. 3 hits, an RBI. He scored the game-winning run on the Eric Chavez walk-off hit. And Willie has had a pair of 3-hit games since his return from the DL. Out since June 27th with a broken hand. There's a called strike by the plate umpire. C.B. Bucknor has the plates. Crew chief Dale Scott is at first. Bill Miller at second. And Todd Tishner at third. 1-1.
Watch out. See, in the business, that's what's known as expert analysis.
Is that why they booked you for the alumni game? I saw that. It's a double duty for you.
Yeah.
Double duty Radcliffe. You and the governor down there in the Derek Hall seats.
Just felt like another extra inning game.
That's right. It's not like you're not broken in. I also noticed you had your A material out there too. Some pretty good one-liners.
Well, the best ones couldn't be used in front of a mixed crowd. Boy, it was so good to see the guys back and the smiles on their faces. You know, when you leave the game, and one of the things you miss, and very few guys will admit it, is the approval of the crowd. When you do something well out there on the field, or your name is announced, and you tip your cap, and the fans remember. And boy, that makes retired players feel great.
Hector Sanchez getting a minute to regroup here from C.B. Bucknor.
Ooh, right up the left shoulder.
Collarbone. 2-2. Called strike 3. Willie walks away, shaking his head. 1 out.
It won't be the last time we see that today.
Number 6.
Giants defensively, as we mentioned, quite a different look than the first 2 games.
Yeah, Brett Pill in left, Gregor Blanco in center, Hunter Pence over in right field. It'll be Sandoval and Arias on the left side, Abreu and Posey on the right side of the infield. We've seen Hector Sanchez take a foul tip off that left shoulder already, and right-hander Yusmeiro Petit on the mound. Have a day back there, Hector.
Oh.
Takes that one off the hockey mask.
Checking the mask. He's been injured all year, coming off a pretty serious shoulder injury. He's 2 batters in, he's already taken a beating.
I mentioned Petit has the full complement of pitches out there on the mound. On a given day, as I mentioned, he'll rely a little more heavily on his breaking stuff if he doesn't feel like he has a good fastball, but he can mix them up. 4-seamer, a cutter, curveball, changeup, occasional slider.
Yusmeiro Petit just called up from AAA Fresno August 23rd. He's taking the place of Matt Cain, who went on the DL for the first time in his career. He's got a right forearm bruise. He was a winner in his first start for the Giants. That was last Tuesday at Colorado. 2 runs on 6 hits and 6. He had 6 strikeouts. It was Petit's first win to the day in exactly 4 years, and that came for the Diamondbacks against the Giants at San Francisco back in 2009. Base hit for Adam Eaton. Well, Adam Spanky Eaton hit .312 in August, and his September is off to a perfect start.
He's been barreling up a lot of balls lately. Initially, when he came back, he was just kind of flaring the ball around the field, hitting easy grounders. But lately, he's been squaring it up, hitting line drives and deep fly balls.
Here's Goldie. .299, 31 home runs, second in the National League. 104 RBIs, leads the National League. There's a strike, 0-1. Goldie on base 3 times last night with 3 walks. He is third in the league in walks. Runs scored and on base percentage. Boy, if you start checking off the MVP criteria, he's near or at the top in a lot of categories. Martin Prano's on deck routine.
You know, we touched on it in the open of the show, but I think Kirk Gibson, just for one day, would like to score a bunch of runs early, put it on cruise control. I mean, you can count on one hand the number of games the Diamondbacks have had like that this season, where you can just sit back as a manager and a pitching coach and, you know, kind of put it together however you want. Get a lot of runs early, pitcher settles in, defense settles in. Opposing team, especially a team that's battling for last place in the division, might tend to roll over and cruise to the finish, have a nice, easy game.
Well, you're facing a guy who just got called up from the minor leagues. It's definitely a Sunday day game after a night game lineup, and you've got your all-star ace on the mound, so all the ingredients are there. 0-2 to Goldie. Petit steps off. Get a win here and then welcome in Toronto for the first of 3 tomorrow.
Toronto got shut out by the Royals earlier today, 5-0. I don't know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, but we miss R.A. Dickey in that Blue Jays series. I always kind of look forward to seeing a knuckleball pitcher because it is such a rarity, but I don't think the Diamondbacks hitters mind missing him.
Been a very odd season for Toronto after they loaded up. They went all in with a bunch of veteran guys: Josh Johnson, R.A. Dickey, Jose Reyes. And it just hasn't worked out. 1-2 to Goldie. Sanchez hangs on, foul tip. That's the second strikeout for Yusmeiro Petit.
There's a little slider up there on the outer third of the plate. Goldie just underneath that one. Unfortunately, it stays in Sanchez's mitt for strike 3, foul tip.
Martin Prado in the cleanup spot today. The batting average is the highest it's been since he was last at 300. That was April 13th, only 11 games into the season. He's got it up to 287. And as you see right there, he's already had an impactful series. 8 hits and 5 RBIs in the homestand so far.
Now, we've been keeping a close eye on Martin Prado's batting average as he has had this incredible month of August. I mean, he's over 500 at bats on the season, 515 going into play today. It's not easy to raise your batting average once you get that many at bats in the season. Of course, when you get 2 or 3 hits every day, it figures to climb up there.
If it was your stock portfolio, you could retire by now. All green arrows going up. As Martin Prado had the best August in the National League. No player in the league had more hits or RBIs last month. Aaron Hill was right behind. A dynamic duo in August.
Boy, just crazy numbers for these two.
374 and 372 for August. Wow. There's a strike. Funny thing was, in typical Martin Prado fashion, he sort of passed Aaron Hill on the last day of the month. He had 3 hits yesterday. So he finished with a flourish. But he's behind here, 0-2. Nothing doing. Diamondbacks have been very conservative on the bases in this homestand.
They've got some speed. Adam Eaton in the lineup today. A.J. Pollock down at the bottom. We've seen Tony Campana either as a starter or a pinch runner in situations where you would expect guys to possibly try to steal a base, and they've been very conservative, as you said.
Speaking of which, right on cue, there goes Adam Eaton. And it's fouled away. We'll do it again.
And even though Martin Prado's in a 2-strike count, and we mentioned yesterday how good a hitter he is with 2 strikes, he wants to know if Adam Eaton is going to be running or not. It could possibly open up some holes in that Giants infield defense. So even though it's not technically a hit and run, because it is a 2-strike count with 2 outs, Martin Prado handles the bat so well, he wants to know when that runner's on the move. Try to take advantage of it.
Adam Eaton, a pair of stolen bases so far. He's been caught 1 time. Posey holds him on at first. He holds that time. That's a base hit into center field, and Adam Eaton is wheels up into third, and Matt Williams will wave him in. Prado dives headfirst into second, and the Diamondbacks take a 1-0 lead. Martin Prado. Wow. He is en fuego. Giants kicked it around a bit out there in that outfield, and that gave Eaton a chance to take the extra base.
Yeah, really, it was the lollipop throw by Gregor Blanco back toward the infield. You can see how far he had to go just to get to that ball, but if he puts anything on that throw at all, Matt Williams has to throw up the stop sign. A little lollipop throw, bounced twice before getting to the cutoff man, and that gave Eaton enough time to come all the way around and score.
And Prado was flying into second with that hit first slide. So here's Aaron Hill. 72 RBIs on the year for Prado. This is right out of the Pete Rose handbook for Prado.
You can see, just bad cutoff position there. The shortstop, Joaquin Arias, was lining up to third base. Second baseman Tony Abreu right on the bag, and when that throw came back to nobody, it bounced twice before it got back into the infield. And it's not surprising when you have a couple guys plugged in there that haven't been in the lineup. You got a guy in Arias that plays multiple positions. That was a botched cutoff right there.
And a nice read by Matt Williams at third.
A lot of things to put in that computer as a third base coach. The speed of your runner, strength of the arms in the outfield, the strength of the arms of the cutoff man. You have to read the throw from the outfielder back to the infield, and that's when Matt made the determination to wave him on home.
One and two to Aaron Hill. Three strikeouts in the inning for Yusmeiro Petit, but Martin Prado with his 72nd RBI on the year makes it 1-0 Diamondbacks after 1. Diamondbacks lead it 1-0 as we start the second inning. Patrick Corbin worked a 1-2-3 first. He'll face Hunter Pence, Pablo Sandoval, and Brett Pill. 4, 5, and 6 for the Giants. Pence at .281 and 16 homers. He's had 4 hits in the series so far. 3 of them last night, all singles. Big Labor Day weekend here at Chase Field. Of course, had the alumni game, throwback night last night. Roger Clyne and the Peacemakers, Bob Brenly, after the game tonight.
Rocking it out.
Now, are you involved in that at all? I know you had a key role last night.
Not yet.
Are you angling for a sit in for a song or two?
Maybe a future gig. I need to get the Roger Clyne playbook and go through some of the songs and see if there's anything in there I could possibly fake my way through.
I think after all these years you've mastered those 3 chords. What do you think?
That's 3 chords and the truth. That's what it's all about.
I saw Kruko. He's just trying to talk you into a mandolin.
Yeah, Mike Kruko next door doing the TV game for the Giants along with Dwayne Kuiper. We both love music going back to our days as players, and he picks up all these bizarre musical instruments. He tried to get me to play a banjo. He actually has a mandolin with him from 1916.
Wow.
It's a vintage instrument, and he popped it out of the bag this morning and showed me the 3 chords I do know, and they're very easy to play on a mandolin, so might have to make another investment. Always has that baseball, Kruk.
Kruk and Kipe, the great Giants broadcast team, right in the booth next to us here.
Throughout this alumni weekend, Gonzo's been taking a lot of heat. He's always been an instigator. He was always the guy to kind of stir things up when it got a little too quiet down there in the clubhouse. And the 2 guys sitting in the booth on the other side, Kruko and Kuiper. Dwayne Kuiper may have been the best disturber ever.
In what way?
Kuiper at that stage of his career when I played with him wasn't a regular player, so he spent a lot of time on the bench. And boy, especially playing tricks on the coaching staff. We had a pitching coach in San Francisco that was, how do you want to put it, wishy-washy. He could change his mind on a player or a play at the drop of a hat. So Kuiper said, just follow my lead one day, because I was on the bench as well. So he went down to this coach, and we were playing the Phillies. And Greg Gross, who's now the hitting coach down in Reno for the Diamondbacks, was a pinch hitter for the Philadelphia Phillies. Really good one back in the 80s. So Kuiper went down, sat next to the coach, said, boy, I really hate this Greg Gross. He just kills us. He always comes up with big base hits in tough situations. And our coach said, yeah, Kuiper, you're right. I don't like this guy a bit either. He beats up on our pitching staff. I hate him. Kuiper gets up, walks away. Okay, your turn. So now I go down, sit next to the very same coach minutes after he just said he hates Greg Gross. And I said, boy, that Greg Gross is a player. I'd like to have a guy like that on our team. Left-handed bat off the bench. My God, Bobby, you're right. I wish we had him on this team too. Just daily things like that, They're not really funny unless you're there and actually see them happen. But Kuiper was always right in the middle of it.
Stirring it up.
Stirring it up. Most of them started with the phrase, somebody said. He never would specify who that somebody was, if there even was anybody, but somebody said, you got a bad haircut. Oh, yeah? Who said that? And here we go.
Base hit for Sandoval after the walk to Pence. And Hunter Pence heads for third. The throw from Parra is not in time. Patrick Corbin worked a 1-2-3 first, but the first 2 have reached for the Giants here in the second.
Odd to see Hunter Pence take a walk, but not odd to see him try to turn that corner at second and advance to third on Gerardo Parra. Throw got there in time, unfortunately offline enough for Pence to slide in safely at third base.
Tim Flannery coaching at third. So first and third, no outs, and Brett Pill steps in. Getting the start in left field today. Did not go, says Dale Scott, the crew chief at first. Brett Pill at 238, couple of home runs. He has started only a handful of games for the Giants this season. Had a big year at AAA Fresno, hit .344 in 68 games, 18 home runs. There's the strike, 1-1. Hunter Pence at third, Pablo Sandoval at first. No outs here in the second.
Yeah, we see a lot of guys go to the knock socks. Pablo Sandoval, pants just below the knees there. A lot of black showing on those socks. But look at Hunter Pence. His pants are pulled up so high, they're above his knee. You can see the white tags on the top of those black socks.
Looks like his basement was just flooded. Bring him up and sit him down. First strikeout for Patrick Corbin.
Boy, big time for a strikeout right there. Now with one out in the inning, a runner at first base, a chance of a possible double play ball. Real slow runner at the plate, and Hector Sanchez keep that ball down, get a grounder.
23-year-old switch hitting catcher the Giants really like, if only he could stay healthy. He's had one of those off and on again seasons. A shoulder injury, had to be shut down in May, missed 37 games, didn't get back to the middle of June. It's been a complication all year. That one is grounded to Bloomquist at short. He's got one play, but Penn scores from third. The Giants tie the game. RBI for Hector Sanchez.
That's too bad. Patrick got the ground ball he was looking for. Unfortunately, Sanchez just didn't hit it hard enough to give the D-backs an opportunity to try to turn two.
Just a little dribbler to shortstop. Nowhere to go but first for Willie. Penn scores easily. Sandoval to second, now 2 outs, and here's Gregor Blanco. Broken bat, foul ball. Blanco doesn't usually play against left-hand pitching. He's hitting only about 190 versus lefties this year. And he'll try again with a new stick. Another big crowd here today. A tremendous job by D-back Nation to come on out this weekend. Had a great crowd for throwback night last night, more than 36,000, many of whom stayed for the alumni game. It was a terrific crowd last night for the alumni game. And another packed house here today. 0-2. I was really impressed by that, Bob. This place was full for the ball game, and it was a great game. You got the walk-off win, and it didn't look like anyone left. It was really, really good. It was an enthusiastic, fun crowd. They were into it. They sort of embraced the whole idea.
They really did. I was a little surprised myself. I guess I thought a lot of people would stay for the regular game and then head on home, but very few people, if any, left.
Another strikeout for Corbin. They strand Sandoval, but the Giants get the tying run across. Bottom 2 on the way. It's 1-1 at Chase Field.
And, you know, we never die, and, you know, we're going to try to give it a good shot here the last 29 games and give it all we got. You know, the crowd was great tonight. Appreciate it. Don't give up. We're not going to give up. Let's have a good month.
And that is our Geico quote from last night. Eric Chavez, 12th walk-off of the season for the Arizona Diamondbacks. I love the plea to the fans, a packed house last night. These guys have definitely not given up. And I thought it was interesting, Stephen Bob, Todd was down there, and Todd commented to me during the postgame that, yeah, there's a lot of mud actually generated down there that sometimes does get on the reporter. And Todd got a little wet, and I think that was good for Todd Walsh to be down there during that type of situation. Usually up on the set with Joe, and I'm glad he enjoyed it.
Yeah, Todd's usually around frozen water at the Coyotes games, but he got the mud and the water and the double bubble and the whole thing.
Well, we hope everybody that's down there on the field postgame gets muddy for the rest of the year, because that means good things for the D-backs.
Grit, don't quit. Well, that's really, it's Prado that started that, right? Because he sort of reaches down, gets some dirt, mixes it in with the water, and creates that whole mud thing. And then it gets down the back of the neck and the shirt. That was Eric Chavez's first hit last night since he was activated from the DL, and a perfect time for it. 1-1 to Miguel Montero as we start the home half of the second. Montero, Pollock, Parras 6, 7, and 8 against Yusmeiro Petit. This is a new twist. Look at A.J. Pollock down there. Where is he? There's a banana peel on the top. What? Now we're including garbage. Two and two. Foul third base side, and it just does leak into the seats.
Which makes you not want to get the game-winning hit. It turned into a landfill.
Dirt, mud, banana peels. Then you get the bubblegum containers. The instigator. The banana peel. One's apparently standing by, ready just in case. Well, it's all about the potassium. Miggy chases that one. That's 4 strikeouts here for Yusmeiro Petit through 1 1/3. Every out recorded so far via the strikeout.
Center field, number 11, A.J. Pollock.
Well, speaking of food, something to eat before your banana. Anytime the D-backs score 6 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Now A.J. will put the banana down long enough to step it against Petit. Not going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe.
So give anybody ideas now.
Don't mess with the guy's car. Adam Eaton was telling horror stories about spring training. Guy's messing with his car. He moved it one time on him. All into the rookie hazing category. That's a good look.
That's a real good look.
Put I think it was J.J. Putz that put baby powder in his air conditioning. So when he turned on the AC in the car, put it on blast, poof, all over everything. 2-0. I'm sure you've seen a number of. You were talking about sort of the psychological mind games to keep yourself occupied on the bench, but in terms of the pranks and the practical jokes.
Yeah.
AJ chases one elevated there. It's 2-2.
Some of the older baseball fans out there may remember the name Corey Snyder, a real good young prospect with the Cleveland Indians. Later in his career came to play with the Giants when I was coaching there, and he was a real OCD guy. Everything in his locker had to be in exactly the right spot. At the end of the day, he would pick up his chair and hang it on the hooks. And needless to say, it never looked the next day the way it did when he left the night before. We would move things around, hang his clothes upside down, take his clothes from time to time, loosen the screws on his chair so when he did take it off the hooks and put it on the ground, it would just fall apart.
How did he take it?
He took it real well. I mean, you know, some guys don't take it quite as well, and you get to know your teammates and who can take a joke and who can't take a joke, and you have to respect those boundaries. But boy, if you smile when your teammates play tricks on you, it's going to be a recurrent theme.
It's on. But Yusmeiro Petit's got 5 strikeouts. Gerardo Parra. Base hit. Parra heads for second. Blanco scoops it up, and Gerardo Parra hustles in with his 33rd double. Go Parra! Second double tonight for the Diamondbacks.
Well struck ball, and he gets the double right out of the batter's box as usual, busting it down that first base line, head up, watching the play of Gregor Blanco out there in center field. Big play to get himself into scoring position with 2 outs in the inning.
And at least you clear the pitcher's spot as Patrick Corbin steps in. Although Patrick, as we've mentioned, looks hitterish up there. 33 doubles now for Parra. Patrick has 4 doubles himself this year. So far, that's at least 2 extra bases, 1 for a run that the Diamondbacks have taken on Gregor Blanco in center field. Blanco is starting in left field the first 2 games of this series. 1-2. Pagan getting the day off, 2 games back after the long absence from the hamstring surgery. Six strikeouts through 2 innings for Yusmeiro Petit. It's a 1-1 ball game at Chase Field. brought to you in part by Fulton Homes. You're proud to own, we're proud to build. 1-1 ball game, Labor Day weekend, 1st of September at Chase Field. And boy, just his second start this year, Yusmeiro Petit has recorded 6 outs, all by strikeout in a 1-1 ball game. Who had 6 strikeouts through 2 for Yusmeiro Petit?
Let's see. Nobody?
Hello, lady. Patrick Corbin, in the meantime, has struck out 2. He's walked 1. He'll face Petit. Arias Abreu, 9-1-2 here in the San Francisco third. Patrick Corbin's start at Philly last Sunday, as Bob mentioned at the top of the show, came the next morning after the 18-inning game. So you almost kind of have to throw that out as Corbin gets his 3rd strikeout. But so far, so good. Bouncing back well. Time for the AT&T Twitter poll question. This is a 4-part question tonight. And the question is your best moment from the alumni game. And number 1, your first option is Gonzo, crushing that one down the right field line and just missing a home run. So one of the options here, hashtag Gonzo foul, and there is Gonzo alongside Jeff Munn and Greg Schulte in the radio booth.
Just a loud strike.
Oh, I mean, he hammered that thing. He can still swing it. The helmet still looked terrible, but the swing looked pretty good. Joaquin Arias flied out his first time.
I thought it was interesting. Gonzo actually broke out the old metal cleats for the alumni game yesterday. He said last year he wore a pair of turf shoes and was slipping and sliding around in the batter's box. At least that's his story, and he's going to stick to it.
Probably trying to spike somebody. And Williams, the losing skipper last night. Captain. 1-2. Chase that one in the dirt. 4 strikeouts for Corbin. All right, so one of the options is the Gonzo homer. Gonzo involved in our second option of 4. There are 4 on the way here last night from the alumni game. The rematch, Gonzo and Fett, the shift was on, so Fetters unleashes this. Trying to foil the bunt attempt by Luis Gonzalez. So Fetters' throw is option number 2. Some of the in-game hijinks clearly caught Gonzo off guard. All a psychological ploy on the part of Mike Fetters. And he's in Gonzo's head. There's no doubt about that.
Deep in his head.
Oh. Fett owns him right now. Tony Abreu tapped back to the mound his first time. So we have 2 more options for you coming up. The AT&T Twitter poll. That one is rolled to shortstop, Willie Bloomquist. Corbin is now set down 6 in a row. It's a 1-1 ball game. interactive kiosks right here at Chase Field during any Arizona Diamondbacks regular season home game. Ismero Petit has struck out 4 of the last 5 Diamondbacks he's faced. All 6 outs he's recorded in the ball game so far have come via the strikeouts. And he'll face the top of the order, Willie Bloomquist, Adam Eaton, and Paul Goldschmidt, 1, 2, and 3 here in the Diamondback third. Willie struck out looking to lead off the ball game for Arizona. As suddenly Ismero Petit, who was injured and in the minor leagues for most of the year, is mowing him down. Popped him up. Buster Posey at first. 1 out. Let's continue the AT&T Twitter poll question. Your favorite moment from last night's alumni game. This is option number 3. The Gracie strikeout against Armando Reynoso. And then the reaction.
Some things don't change.
Greg Schulte calling the play-by-play.
Gracie then accused Armando Reynoso of throwing a spitball.
He cheated. That was Gracie's quote. How did he strike you out? Well, he cheated. Got a big laugh from the crowd. Adam Eaton singled and scored his first time. Ismero Petit, 9-19 career as a Diamondback. The ERA over 5. 2007 through 2009. He spent 2010 in the Mariners minor league system. 2011 he was pitching in the Mexican leagues. Spent most of last year with the Giants AAA team in Fresno. Went 7-7 in 28 starts. He's looking like a Cy Young winner here today. He's given up 3 hits, 2 doubles. He's got 6 strikeouts. He's behind 3-0 on Spanky Eaton. Ball 4. And the final moment from last night's alumni game, Matt Williams. A little broken bat bleeder, and Matty couldn't quite get up the line. Timing him with a sundial on that one. He also had an angry reaction. So there's your 4 options. Best moment from the alumni game: the Gonzo near home run, the Gracie strikeout. Can we put those back up?
Oh, jeez.
That was that you can only be described as slow.
So we've got an underhanded pitch that didn't make it to the plate, a foul ball, a strikeout, and a broken bat liner.
Those are the highlights.
Okay.
Those are the 4 best plays of the night.
Oh,
so tweet your vote to at Fox Sports Arizona.
Yeah, Matty's thumbs have to be a little sore today. That was a bad jam shot.
Paul Goldschmidt struck out his first time. There goes Adam Eaton. Sanchez's throw is wide, and Spanky has his 3rd stolen base of the year. One more look at your options for the AT&T Twitter poll question. The Gonzo foul, the Gracie strikeout, Fetter's underhand throw to Gonzo, or Matt Williams' somewhat embarrassing at bats. Tweet your vote to at Fox Sports AZ. It's a tough call.
It is. I guess we could have included Albie Lopez's 1-pitch outing. He came in, threw 1 pitch, got a pop up, and was immediately taken down for another reliever.
Well, they were matching up. And Jody was, of course, part of the festivities last night. Jody, how are the guys feeling today?
Well, a couple of the guys aren't feeling too good. I mean, frankly, the staff didn't fare very well. You guys just saw Matt Williams. I don't know if anyone had a stopwatch out, but Turner Ward just got abused in right field. Gonzo hit it down there. He was running. He told me today he's very sore. I said to Kirk Gibson, did you hear about it? He said, oh, we were watching. They weren't going to miss it.
Goldie strikes out for the second time. Now 7 strikeouts for Yusmeiro Petit. There's assistant hitting coach Turner Ward. He's got Goldie twice. Now this is the Turner Ward play we're talking about.
Not a lot of range out there. Kind of shocking to see Gonzo pull a ball down in the right field corner. Yeah.
And that was, I believe, the pitch after he just missed the home run.
Yeah, you're right.
Martin Prado, RBI double his first time. Martin Prado has now hit safely in 8 straight games and 25 of his last 28. He is batting better than .375 during that span. Last 28 games, 31 RBIs. Bob, what's Yusmeiro Petit doing here that he suddenly turned into Bob Gibson?
He's just locating really well, especially with that fastball. If you've seen the velocity, he's not overpowering. 88, 89, maybe touches 90 from time to time when he throws that four-seamer, but he's kept the ball out of the middle of the plate. When he's elevated, he's put the ball up high enough so the D-backs hitters couldn't get to it. And just commanding that fastball and mixing in enough off-speed pitches.
He's already tied his career high with, or he's one shy of his career high with 8 strikeouts. Got 7 so far, and he's a strike away from matching the career high 8. He struck out 3 in the first, 3 in the second. He's got 1 so far here in the third. Prado's already a mess. Lifted in the air to right, Hunter Pence. We are through 3. It's a 1-1 ball game.
Here, Buster Posey snuck into that batter's box before we were ready for him. Come on, Buster, take your cues. We got a little video segment I think you're going to like with Pablo Sandoval and Martin Prado.
Speaking of OCD,
yeah, we've been kind of having some fun with their preparation. I mean, their at bats actually start before they get to the plate. They start over there in the on-deck circle.
It's all about the choreography. Posey tapped back to the mound his first time, up 0 for 1. Buster Posey hitting almost .340 against lefties this year. He's in at first base today, facing the left-hander Patrick Corbin. Patrick has retired the last 6 he's faced. And he's ahead here, 1-2.
Well, take a look at these two guys. Now, this will make you dizzy if you try to count all the things that they do. They right in the dirt, they kick the toe of their shoes. Sandoval greets the catcher, runs out toward the pitcher, taps his shoes out there. Martin's got a thing he does with his batting gloves, giving himself fist bumps. And hard to keep track of all that stuff. But it all means something. That's the thing. For these two guys, everything they do before they get in that batter's box has a meaning and has a reason.
I always like the way Martin walks behind the plate and then takes a hard left turn and walks directly straight into that right-hand batter's box. 2-2. Remember, I'd take that over a Mike Hargrove type guy any day. The human rain delay. This is Prado. Now he'll do the thing with the toe tap. Then it's a hard turn and a straight walk to the plate. But remember Mike Hargrove coming out after every pitch. There's a base hit for Posey to lead off the 4th.
Yeah, Hargrove, I think, might have been the first guy to really make it a thing to adjust your batting gloves after every pitch. Whether you swing the bat or not, you had to step out of the batter's box and readjust the gloves, which just about every player in the major leagues does now.
I mean, Nomar's whole thing paled in comparison to Mike Hargrove. The human rain delay. Hunter Pence walked and scored his first time.
Hunter Pence's routine doesn't take nearly as long because he only wears one batting glove, just on the bottom hand. Boy, Hunter Pence, it reminds me of winding up a spring. You know, when you overwind an old watch or something, he just, as he waits for that pitcher to deliver, you can just see him getting tighter and tighter and tighter and winding up that spring, getting ready to release it.
Drives that one to Pollock in center field. AJ, it's off the glove. Posey had to hold up at second. He'll go to third, and Pence is in there with a double. His 32nd double this year, and that extends his hit streak to 9 games.
Center fielders will tell you the hardest ball to read is that line drive hit right at you. A.J. Pollock streaking back toward that warning track, just couldn't quite extend long enough to catch that ball, just tipped off the webbing of the glove for a double.
So after setting down 6 in a row, the first 2 have reached in the 4th for the Giants. And here's the Panda, and he's already pretty much finished with the routine. He singled his first time. One and 0. Panda 3 hits in the series, all singles. He's a switch hitter, about 25 points less from the right-hand side. Only one of his 10 home runs this year coming as a right-hand hitter. Two and 0.
And marginally more selective as a right-handed hitter. As a lefty, he's going to swing at the first thing that makes it up there close to the plate in the air.
Now, why would that be?
I'm not really sure, unless it's just the confidence that he has maybe in the right side. He feels like he sees the ball a little bit better. His swing is probably a little quicker from the right side.
Patrick's behind here, 3-0. Brett Pill is on deck. Pablo Sandoval, last year's World Series MVP. Shallow right, Parr's there. Posey at third. He will stop halfway down. Oh, good call. Not very well hit, and it allowed Parr to come in fairly short right.
Third base coach Tim Flannery looked like he was ready to tackle Buster Posey. He knows all about Gerardo Parr's arm. He comes way down the line. He had his hands up before Parr even caught the ball.
So out number one, it brings up Brett Pill. First two reached against Patrick in the second on a walk and a single. Pence ended up scoring after the leadoff walk, and the first two have reached here in the fourth. Pill struck out looking his first time. On the ground to third, Prado. Everyone holds up. That's a big second out.
Catcher, Hector Sanchez.
Hector Sanchez. Sanchez, an RBI ground out his first time. He's got 12 RBIs this season. 9 of those RBIs have come in his last 12 games.
You do have a base open at first if you happen to fall behind here and don't want to give in to Sanchez. You got the left-handed hitting Gregor Blanco in the on-deck circle.
They like Hector Sanchez. Bruce Bochy says he's got the ability to be a really good major league catcher. Arm strength, dangerous hitter. And he knows from catching. Gets the strike call from CB Bucknor, 1-2.
Backdoor slider this time from Patrick Corbin. Miguel Montero kind of slid on the inside part of the plate, but Patrick drops it right on that outside corner for a called strike.
Trying to strand Posey and Pence at third and second. Here it is. That one will get down in the gap. Buster Posey scores. They wave Hunter Pence. Hector Sanchez is in at second with a 2-run double, and it's a 3-1 Giants lead. Sanchez has driven in all 3 Giants runs.
Well, that was a slider that was intended to be that back foot slider that Patrick gets so many swings and misses on, but Sanchez got it before it broke to the back foot and finds that gap in left center field. Yeah, we showed you the pitch before. He got the called strike. He missed from one side of the plate to the other, and then that time trying to throw the back foot slider, left it over the inside part.
2 runs in. Sanchez at second. Gregor Blanco. Blanco struck out looking his first time up. High chopper to second base. Aaron Hill has no play. Blanco's aboard. Sanchez to third.
You see a lot of hits like this when there were more AstroTurf fields in baseball. Blanco just pounds that ball off the front of home plate, gets that high first hop over the mound. By the time Aaron Hill can get there, he has no play.
Fourth hit of this inning for the Giants. And here's the pitcher, Yusmeiro Petit. He struck out looking to lead off the third, his first at bat. To right, that gets down. Sanchez scores, and Blanco heads for third. 4-1 San Francisco. Yusmeiro Petit, the RBI single with 2 outs.
Boy, that one hurt. You felt like you were in okay shape if you can get out of this inning without allowing any more runs to score, and then Petit carves one down that right field line. Charlie Nagy out to have a meeting on the mound with Patrick Corbin.
5 hits in the inning for the Giants. Patrick had the rough start at Philadelphia after the 18-inning game, and Patrick was at the ballpark all night long. He needed his body to hang around in case they needed a guy to send out there, and he kind of got knocked around against the Phillies. But that was a week ago today. He was outstanding in his previous start. 10 strikeouts, no walks, and a complete game win at Cincinnati. And this one we were ready to write off because of the circumstances, but he's having some issues here again today in the fourth. Here's Arias, who's 0 for 2. Prado at third, goes the short way, and that's it. But the Giants get 5 hits. They score 3 times, take a 4-1 lead. CenturyLink, your link to what's next coming up for the Diamondbacks. Aaron Hill leads off the home half of the fourth. Diamondbacks trailed the Giants 4-1, set for the home half of the fourth. Hey, next Sunday, it's a new episode, A Cup of Coffee with Aaron Hill. He'll talk about his concussion diagnosis that almost ended his career and why he's not on the Twitter. But that could change. It's Cup of Coffee next Sunday, 4 o'clock and 10 o'clock with Aaron Hill, right here only on Fox Sports Arizona. A lot of fun with Aaron shooting that down right here in downtown Phoenix, Chloe's Corner. Great spot for lunch if you're in the area. Yusmeiro Petit having a career day. He's got an RBI single and 7 strikeouts. Hill, Montero, Pollock 5, 6, and 7 in the Arizona fourth. Aaron Hill started 24 games last month and had more than 1 hit in half those games. He hit .372 in August. He was on base twice last night, singled, walked, and scored a run. And that's where you really got the sense of how much the Diamondbacks missed Aaron Hill when you looked at the production from August. 25 games, scored 16 runs, and drove in 16. One and two. A reminder, fans, every time a Diamondbacks player hits a home run this season, Fulton Homes will donate $150 to the Central Arizona Mountain Rescue Association. Goes down and gets that one, shoots it into right. Hunter Pence, boy, he just looks so awkward out there. It's almost like he's on his tippy toes.
Some ball players, when they move on the field, you describe their motions as fluid. There's nothing fluid about what Hunter Pence does on a baseball field. He just gets it done.
It's like he's trying to stay quiet out there and didn't want to hear anyone to hear his footsteps. Just tiptoe, tiptoe. Miguel Montero. Miggy 0 for 1. He struck out in the second.
I think Hunter Pence is a good example for you young ball players out there. It doesn't really matter what you look like if you get the job done. I think so many kids are so concerned with modeling themselves after their favorite big league player, or hitting like their favorite big league hitter, pitching like their favorite big league pitcher. But if you're not effective and you're not getting the outs and you're not getting the base hits, do what's comfortable for you. I mean, Hunter Pence obviously has not caved to peer pressure. He knows what works for him. It might not always be pretty, but he gets the job done.
He's a very unique guy, that's for sure, on and off the field. Two and two to Miggy. Miggy has 2 hits in each of his last 3 games. The bat has shown some life since coming off the DL. 6 for 16 in the 4 games since he returned from the lower back injury. Fans, don't forget, Saturday, September 14th, Miguel Montero Bobblehead Day. That's courtesy of our friends at Subway Restaurants. Be sure to come early, hosting a Hispanic Heritage Day Street Festival presented by APS before the game. Music, food trucks, lucha libre wrestling, the whole thing. Call us for tickets, 602-462-4600, or log on to dbacks.com/tickets. Nice shot of the Miggy bobblehead that's up here in our broadcast booth. It's a place of honor right here. It's a good-looking bobblehead. There's the Subway logo on front. And Miggy just reaching down and, driving a ball the other way, maybe. Still thinks he looks like Mickey Dolenz from the Monkees. But so get your Miggy bobblehead. That's another advantage of being a Diamondback season ticket holder. Guarantee your bobbleheads, guarantee early access into Chase Field. So when you're down here over the course of the next month, stop by section 111, season ticket headquarters, and ask about season tickets, or go online, dbacks.com/tickets. They'll answer all your questions, pick out a plan that's right for you, including a very flexible 12-month payment plan, so you don't have to write a big check. Become a D-backs season ticket holder for 2014.
I've said it many times before. The big thing about that for me is that early access, getting an opportunity to get in here to Chase Field while the teams are taking batting practice before the rest of the crowd comes in. Much better chance of getting an autograph if that's what you like to do.
3 and 2. You guarantee your bobbleheads. That's another biggie. Saw the rush. Boy, fans, the last bobblehead day, the Goldie bobblehead, they were lined up down the block. 10th pitch of the at-bat on the way. That's 8 strikeouts for Yusmeiro Petit. That ties his career high. He's got Miggy twice. It's funny how starts like this from guys like this can just kind of come out of nowhere at you.
Well, we saw Robbie Erlin from the Padres.
Yeah, looked great.
Kind of popped out of nowhere and pitched possibly the game of his life against the D-backs.
A.J. Pollock struck out his first time. A.J. hitting just over 300 his last dozen games. He scored 8 times over that span.
Congratulations in order for Hillsboro Hops right-handed pitcher Kyle Scheppel threw a no-hitter last night.
We've had in the D-back system, it seems like 3-4 no-hitters in the minor leagues this year.
Kyle obviously didn't give up a hit. He walked 1 batter, struck out 8. His first win. And also congratulations to Chris Owings. Man, talk about some depth in the system. He was named the 2013 Pacific Coast League Most Valuable Player, the second straight year in a row a Reno Aces player has won that award. Adam Eaton was the MVP of the Coast League last year.
What did Chris finish up at this year? About 350 all year long, it seemed.
He was really consistent right from the get-go this season.
2-2 to Pollock.
Hitting .327 with a couple of ball games left to go. I believe their final game is tomorrow in Salt Lake City.
That's another interesting question for the offseason. We saw Matt Davidson up here earlier in terms of, they've got these young promising hitters. Where do they fit in? A new career high, 9 strikeouts through 4 innings for Yusmeiro Petit, and he's got a 4-1 lead. Trucks Pool, great place to watch a game. Chill out there, got some snacks. Good view of the field. Tony Abreu leads off the 5th with a base hit. Now 7 hits for the Giants. Abreu 1 for 3. Well, they had 5 hits in that 4th inning against Patrick, and Abreu leads off the 5th with the base hit.
First baseman,
Going to get a little concerned. Poke some fun at this split squad lineup, but the 3, 4, 5 hitters are as good as you're going to see anywhere in baseball.
Case in point, Buster Posey singled and scored his last time, 1 for 2. Buster Posey, of course, got a 9-year, $167 million contract with full no trade protection. That was at the end of March, so he is locked up through 2021. A lot of money for a catcher.
Yeah, and I asked Bruce Bochy about that. You know, there's been a lot of speculation that Posey should move out from behind home plate. Average defensive catcher at best. A little bit reminiscent of Mike Piazza in his days in the major leagues as a catcher. Obviously, Posey's main value to this ball club is what he does with that piece of wood in his hand, and a lot of people think that he would benefit from a move maybe to first base, maybe to one of the corner outfield spots, save some wear and tear on his body, and continue to keep that bat in the lineup. But he wants to be a catcher. He wants to be behind the plate, and for the time being, Bruce Bochy's going to respect that.
Buster Posey can hit lefties.
Ooh. I mean, that's a considerable lead over Andrew McCutchen and Matt Kemp. He hits righties pretty well, too.
And he becomes, once you get to the 2016 season in his deal, he's a $20 million a year guy and north of that. And it's certainly not that he doesn't deserve it. The question only is it tying all that money up into a player who's, you know, as we've seen with Buster Posey, can be vulnerable at the plate, susceptible to injury. He's done a remarkable job coming back from that horrifying play at the plate against the Marlins.
And I noticed this earlier this season. Buster Posey and Paul Goldschmidt, very similar approach in that right-handed batter's box. They both hit out of a crouch. Goldie kind of lays his bat on that back shoulder. Buster Posey has just a little bit of movement, but very, very similar in the way they set up in that batter's box.
It's interesting you say that because Goldie was asked who his favorite player to watch is, and he said Buster Posey. Likes the way he goes about his business, conducts himself. He likes him as a baseball player, too, of course. And yeah, they look a lot alike up there. You're right. Just missed there. It's full.
There's another thing he has in common with Goldie, the ability to fall behind in the count 0-2 and end up with a full count.
Abreu at first. He takes off with a pitch. It's fouled just behind Tim Flannery at third. Do a little comparison shopping here. First, Buster Posey.
Just a little more bat movement on that back shoulder, whereas Goldie is much quieter with the bat, but the crouch, everything looks very, very similar.
They got Abreu hung up. One out in the 5th.
Abreu just took off on first movement. Fortunately, the D-backs were picking over at first base. They get him caught in a rundown right here. Goldie, get him running. There you go. Once he crosses over and starts running, you've got him. It's an easy toss and tag to finish the rundown at that point.
Well, you don't have to be Connie Mack to know you don't want to get picked off while you're on base ahead of Posey, Pence, and Sandoval. Yes, he went. There's the strikeout. That's 5 for Patrick Corbin. Quickly 2 down in the 5th. My, how that inning changed right there over the course of 2 pitches.
About 15 seconds changed the entire inning. Yeah, when you're running on a 3-2 count, as the base runner at first base, you're taught to play it like a hit and run. You make sure that pitcher is delivering the ball home before you break for second base. That time Abreu just took off on first movement and was picked off easily.
Hunter Pence has been on base twice. He's scored twice, a walk and a double. Hunter Pence hitting about .330 since the All-Star break. Oof. The perfect word to describe him is coiled. Yeah. You were talking about a spring last time. And when he comes uncoiled, he really does.
He lets it go.
And some guys have talked about, Bob, the idea that if you're the pitcher and he's all geared up like that and every muscle is flexed intense, just hold the ball and keep him that way for a while.
Absolutely. I was always a big proponent of that. We talked about it earlier in reference to Ron Say, the Penguin in L.A. Never took a practice swing, would step in that batter's box and assume his hitting position, and he would stay there without moving until that pitcher released the ball. So I would always try to wait. Don't give a sign. Make him stand there as long as possible, then give the sign to the pitcher. And just hope that maybe you get him locked up in there, a little tension in his hands or his wrists, and not able to swing the bat quite the way he normally did.
Drives that one down the line and right. That ball is well hit, and it is gone, a home run. Hunter Pence, his 17th, and it's 5-1 Giants.
Location mistake there by Patrick Corbin, up and out over the plate to a strong, hard swinging hitter. I was kind of surprised that Parra didn't even really pursue that ball, but I can see why now. Man, he hit that ball a long way to the opposite field.
Double, a homer, and a walk for Pence. He scored 3 times. Here's Sandoval. And thank you, Tony Abreu. At least it's not 6-1. Sandoval 1 for 2. He singled in the second. Bob, the easy question that fans will ask here, and you understand why, is looking at this line right here. Is Patrick Corbin perhaps getting tired as we head into September?
It certainly appears like there is some fatigue in his delivery, only looking at his location. Now, there's a good slider in the dirt right there, but he's made some mistakes with that slider today. He's left some fastballs up. I mean, he had a stretch earlier this season where he rarely threw a pitch above the middle of the thighs. Just kept pounding that sinker and slider down. Got a lot of strikeouts, a lot of easy ground balls, but when that pitch tends to stray up in the zone, that's when big league hitters are going to make better contact.
Base hit for the Panda. That's 9 hits now for the Giants. And 3 in this inning. They had 5 hits in the last inning. If you're leaving pitches up, you're not finishing, you're not completing the one, because it does take some strength to kind of bury those pitches down, right?
It really takes a lot of strength. Your core muscles have to really pull down on your upper body. You want to get out over that front leg as much as you can, really extend to your target. And when you get a little bit fatigued, especially when your legs get a little fatigued, you tend to stand up a little more upright, and that's when pitches start to get up there around the belt.
Charles Nagy to the mound. We heard the bullpen phone ringing a moment ago. Patrick Corbin now at 84 pitches, 58 for strikes. 5 runs on 9 hits for the Giants. Corbin has 5 strikeouts. Tony Sipp, who just joined David Hernandez up from AAA Reno as the rosters expand in September, is warming up for the Diamondbacks. So Patrick this year, excellent numbers against the Giants.
Yeah, maybe it's just a case of familiarity. You see a guy often enough, you look at enough videotape, you read those scouting reports, and eventually you come up with some kind of a game plan that at least gives you a little bit of success against an opposing pitcher. And it's like the Giants maybe have figured a little bit out with Patrick Corbin just from seeing him as much as they have.
Brett Pill still looking for answers. He's 0 for 2. From Covina, California, Cal State Fullerton, 7th round pick by the Giants in the 06 draft. This is only the, I'm sorry, Bob, only the 3rd time this year that Corbin has allowed at least 5 runs in a ball game.
I know Patrick doesn't want to hear this, but you know, possibly a valuable lesson to learn going forward. You have to learn how to pitch at less than your best when you're tired.
And Pablo Sandoval kind of waves the white flag on that one as it didn't roll quite far enough away from Miguel Montero, and he is ruled out, and that's the end of the top of the 5th. It's 5-1 Giants, home half coming up.
Is brought to you in part by Ram Trucks, proud partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Back at Chase Field, Labor Day weekend, a Sunday. Giants lead the Diamondbacks 5-1. By the way, if you're scoring with us, that's a strikeout 2-4 on one of the more unusual ways to end an inning we've seen, but it is a K24 on the scorecard.
Well, understandable. Miggy wasn't sure if a swing had been called at the plate. He looks up and sees Sandoval rumbling into second base, so he did the right thing, throw to the lead runner, but Bill was called out on strikes at the plate.
Gerardo Parra, the pitcher's spot, and Willie Bloomquist, 8-9-1 here in the Diamondback 5th. And it looks like Cliff Pennington will hit for Patrick Corbin, so Patrick's day is apparently done right here, down 5-1. Pennington on deck. He will hit for the pitcher. Gerardo Parra doubled his first time up. Gerardo Parra 5 for 20 on the homestand so far. He's got his 6 RBIs in 5 games. There's Pennington on deck. He'll hit for Corbin, who will apparently leave after giving up 5 runs on 9 hits. He had 6 strikeouts. Ismero Petit has struck out a career high 9. He's retired the last 5 he's faced. Last Diamondback hit was Parra's double with 2 outs in the second. Off the fist, very short right. Hunter Pence. Mero Petit, you get a career high 9 Ks through 4 innings. That makes you our APS Energy All-Star.
Yeah, he's been good regardless of what's happened in his career leading up to this start today. For one given day, he has been fantastic.
It's in the Mexican leagues 2 years ago. He was in the minors all last year and most of this year. So here's Cliff Pennington. He will hit for Patrick Corbin. Cliff hitting about 240 as a left-hand hitter, 215 from the right side. Sandoval well in on the grass at third, and he lines that one right in front of Hunter Pence, and Cliff Pennington's aboard with a 1-out single. Just the 4th hit for the Diamondbacks.
Shortstop, Willie Bloomquist.
So here's Willie Bloomquist, top of the order. Willie struck out looking in the first, popped up in the third. He's 0 for 2. Willie earlier this year was talking about his 12-year career and his unique niche. He's a super U guy, one of the best in the game at that, certainly, but not what he set out to do when you start your career, but it's worked out well. Fights that one off in a short right, dumps it in there for a base hit. And the Diamondbacks with a pair of 1-out singles in the 5th.
He cued it right off the end of the bat, which was a good thing because that ball didn't carry very far out there into right field. Drops in front of Hunter Pence. Diamondbacks have it cooking here. Middle of the order coming up.
Boy, Willie, something about Willie when he comes off the DL, he just gets hits in bunches. We mentioned last time 11 for his first 18 after he was activated from the oblique injury to start his season. And he had a big night last night, 3 hits and an RBI, scored the game-winning run. He's 1 for 3 here. Adam Eaton now. Eaton has been on base twice, singled and scored in the first, walked in the third. Also stole a base. There's the strike, 0-1. Took Adam a few weeks to find his sea legs, as it were, after missing the first 89 games with that elbow injury. Not able to make his debut this year until July 9th, and he hit under 200 in July. But he has bounced back big time. Lifts that one in the air to left. Brett Pill. Everybody back to the bags. 2 outs. Chaz Rowe warming up for the Diamondbacks. Chance to get right back in it right here with Goldie up. 2 on 2 outs. So far he has struck out twice against his Mero Petites. Goldie has hit safely in 11 of his last 13 games, batting better than .350 over that span. Drives that one to right. Pence. Foul ball. Landed right in front of Bert Peterson out there. Big crowd here today at Chase Field. Patrick Corbin, a tough day. Diamondbacks trying to pick him up right here. Long look to Hector Sanchez for the sign. Here's the 1-1. Always a little bit extra buzz when Paul Goldschmidt walks into the batter's box here at Chase Field. People perk up just a little bit.
Well, nobody goes out to get a hot dog or a beverage if Goldie's due to hit in the inning.
Two and two.
Boy, that's that pinpoint control we were talking about in the last inning. Petit was out there on the mound, just rears back and throws an 88-mile-an-hour fastball right on the corner at the knees. Everything down and away, down and away, down and away.
And Goldie can't swing at that on 2-1, right?
No. I mean, you can, but that's what Petit wants you to do.
Popped it up. Who wants it? Hunter Pence is there. Posey out there with Abreu, but he's got it for the final out. And the Diamondbacks strand 2. We are through 5. They trail it 5-1.
Five to 1, top of the 6th. D-backs getting into their bullpen right now with Chaz Rowe, but Kirk Gibson talking earlier today about the state of the bullpen. He felt that he dodged a bullet last night with Eric Chavez ending that one in 9 because the bullpen, he still says, overworked, obviously with all of the extra inning games this season, particularly of late. David Hernandez and Tony Sipp, they're the first wave of September call-ups. There will be more coming September 3rd, but you see the numbers, what they were able to do in Reno, very good numbers. He said David Hernandez, he was in a bad spot. We just needed to take the pressure off of him. Tony Sipp, he needed to throw more strikes, and so those guys went down to Reno. They were able to make some adjustments, and for David, maybe more of a mental break. And Kirk Gibson said he would use them anywhere. He would not hesitate. And we see Chaz Rowe on the mound right now as the D-backs get into the bullpen here in the 6th.
Jody, his 9th appearance. He's worked 8 2/3 in the big leagues, given up 6 runs, 8 hits, 9 walks. He last worked Tuesday against the Padres. Gave up 3 runs, walked 2, got only 1 out. He'll face Hector Sanchez here to lead off the 6th.
And a partial shave for Chaz Rowe. He has got a world-class goatee working out there.
Yeah, that is some big league facial here. Get Sanchez out in front, 1-2.
Boy, and at times, since his most recent recall, Chaz Rowe has looked really sharp out there on the mound. His command has been good. The cutter's been really good for him. Hoping to eat up some of those innings in that bullpen Jody was talking about.
And if you're David Hernandez or Tony Sitbob, I imagine you're trying to sort of build some momentum headed into the offseason, and you're not certainly giving up on this year, but in terms of your individual performance and where you are as a pitcher, trying to build on something to get you into 2014.
Absolutely. Some kind of a positive to take out of this season. For both guys, been somewhat disappointing, but if you can finish the last month of the season on an upward swing, that's your most recent memory going into the offseason. When you take a little bit of time off and then start your workouts once again, you remember what it felt like to be an effective pitcher.
Well, Hector Sanchez is having himself a day. He's got 2 hits, a single, a double. He scored a run. He's got 3 RBIs. Here's Gregor Blanco, singled his last time up. So this giant battery of Petit and Sanchez really doing some damage here. Right to Goldie, spins and throws, Bloomquist, and a turn 2. Paul Goldschmidt is an elite defensive first baseman who we just saw why. Let's make that our Chaz Roberts air conditioning cool play of the game. Goldie down at first.
Well, what makes him an elite defender on a play like this is the split-second decision to turn and fire to second base for the force play. He knew the ball was hit hard. He knew he was close enough to the bag at first to get back and take the relay throw himself. So rather than step on the base and risk a throw and risk a tag down at second, he knew he had time to turn that 3-6-3.
Here's Mero Petit. RBI single his last time up. He's having himself quite a ball game here. He's got 9 strikeouts. And an RBI single. 10 hits for the Giants, 5 for the Diamondbacks. Roll to third. Prado will head to the home half of the 6th. Diamondbacks with some work to do here. Century Lake Eurolink to what's next. Martin Prado leads off the 6th for the D-backs. This week, UFC Wednesday premieres on Fox Sports 1 with the prelim fights leading up to the main event on UFC Fight Night. Third-ranked light heavyweight Glover Teixeira takes on Ryan Bader. Then it's the season premiere of The Ultimate Fighter, featuring rival coaches Ronda Rousey and Miesha Tate. UFC Wednesday begins 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 Eastern, with the UFC Fight Night pre-fight show this week on Fox Sports 1. New left fielder for the Giants. Roger Kieschnick takes over for Brett Pill. Pill had a rough day. 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. So now it's Kieschnick in left. And Prado leads off the 6th against Yusmeiro Petit, who has already struck out a career high 9. Prado RBI double in the first. He flied out his last time up. Martin Prado leading the National League in hits and RBI since the All-Star break. 4 more hits than Andrew McCutchen and Will Venable in the season's second half. He is 6 RBIs ahead of Jason Worth. Here's another hit. Martin Prado will not stop hitting. He's 2 for 3. Boy, is he locked in.
I'm telling you, he makes it look so easy. When a major league hitter, experienced guy like Martin Prado gets locked in at the plate, it just looks effortless. Looks like he could get a hit on any pitch he wants. Waited, drives his hands through the hitting zone, line drive into right field.
Aaron Hill 0 for 2.
How about this one? Just more on Martin Prado. April, May, and June combined, he had 26 runs driven in. He's had 30 in the month of August alone.
He's already got 1, and we're not even 1 game into September. And you just go back to June 25th when he was hitting .238 on the year, and it all changed right there. Few players have that kind of circle a date on their game logs, but it absolutely clicked for him on that day, June 25. Petit ahead on Aaron Hill, 0-2.
Sanchez showing a little bounce back there behind the plate. He's a big, wide-bodied catcher, but good agility that time as he blocked that ball and then pounced on it to hold Prado at first base. 2 stages, block and recover. He does both extremely well right there.
Sanchez has had injury issues. We talked about the shoulder injury. Had to be shut down in May, missed 37 games. Didn't come back until the middle of June. And the shoulder problem has actually bothered him since last winter. He initially hurt the shoulder playing winter ball in Venezuela, and says from now on he will only DH if he does play winter ball again. Missed another 25 games through most of July and was in the minor leagues.
And winter ball can be a real double-edged sword. A lot of times it's very good for guys that have had limited playing time. They need to get some at-bats or some innings pitched. Great place to go get that done, but also the risk of injury. The fields aren't quite up to the standard that we see here at the major league level. The lights aren't quite as good. You run into some young, wild pitchers down there that occasionally don't know where the ball's going.
Guys that have played winter ball also talk about the atmosphere at those games. It's like, a European soccer match.
They get into it. I mean, not to mention the fact that at some of the ballparks they sell actual pints of rum to go with your cola beverage.
It'll be rum and coke night at the ballpark.
Yeah.
Come on down. Swing and a miss. That's 10 strikeouts for Yusmeiro Petit. 1 down here in the 6th. Second time he's gotten Aaron Hill today.
Oh, good slider. Petit just on top of everything today. He has made very, very few mistakes in the middle of the plate where the D-backs could get good swings at him.
He has struck out Miguel Montero twice so far. Here's Miggy 0 for 2. 10 strikeouts. His career high had been 8.
Bruce Bochy, he's been down this road before with a pitcher whose numbers would indicate that maybe he's pitching a little over his head, and when that bubble bursts, he wants to be ready. Double-barreled activity down in that Giants bullpen.
Mero Petit made 15 starts for AAA Fresno this year. He was 5-6 with an ERA right at 4.5. This is just his second start this year in the big leagues. 2-1. Wow, nice play by Abreu at second. Arias, and they turn a pretty double play. Tony Abreu gets it started, and he gets them through 6. The Diamondbacks trail at 5-1.
Your link to what's next. By Mazda. We believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. And by Lone Butte Casino. You're in for more winning moments at Lone Butte Casino.
Beautiful Labor Day weekend. Inside, it's not going all that great. Giants lead the Diamondbacks 5-1, but still time to come back here. Here's Mero Petit pitching the game of his life. He's got a career-high 10 strikeouts. He's also got an RBI single at the plate. And out for his second inning of work is Chaz Rowe. There is some good news here. The Reds are trailing at Colorado 6-2. Diamondbacks 6 games behind Cincinnati for that second National League wildcard spot. That was Mike Leake and Tyler Chatwood. Dodgers hosting the Padres today. That is Zach Greinke and Tyson Ross. Right now it's 2-1 LA in the 6th, and those are the standings in the West and the wild card. Arias hard to third. Nice backhand play by Prado. Got him. What can't he do?
Oh, man. Nice jump throw on a hop by design. Much tougher to get that ball to carry all the way from where he is to first base in the air and get it there accurately. Much easier to make that one hop throw. Much easier for Paul Goldschmidt to field that one hop throw.
Tony Abreu. singled and was picked off first his last time up. Two batters later, Hunter Pence hit what turned out to be a solo home run. Otherwise, it would be 6-1. Abreu spent much of the season injured. He began the year on the DL, left knee sprain, missed almost all of spring training, and was out for the first 60 games. He's only played in 34 games this year, just 12 starts. See how the old AT&T Twitter poll is doing. Favorite moment from the alumni game last night? Wow, as usual, Gonzo is way out in front. This was the near home run last night. I mean, man, he crushed that thing.
Though, huh?
Just missed, and then the next pitch he laced a double into the corner that Turner Ward almost tracked down. Only got within 30 feet of it anyway. Leo Gilmartin overseeing. Gonzo working the radio side along with Greg Schulte and Jeff Bond in the radio booth. That's a foul ball.
Yeah, the pace of that 3-inning alumni game. I just mean after the ball was put into play, it took a while to get used to that, you know?
Guys barely moving.
Yeah, the ball would be hit and everybody would look at each other. You chase it. No, you chase it. Of course, the speed of the defense was matched only by the speed of the guys running the bases, so it all worked out. Everything was slower.
Yeah, and I think that was best illustrated in one of the four options we saw there with Matt Williams. When he sort of struggled. He ran actually slower than the Legends Matt Williams, which is hard to do. 1-2 to Posey. Base hit. Yeah, this was Matt Williams last night. One of your four options for the AT&T Twitter poll question. Watch the speed up the baseline here of Matt Williams as he fights this pitch off. He was running like he runs the stairs. Not for a lack of hustle, that's for sure. Hunter Pence. Aaron Hill. That'll do it. They strand the 2-out single by Posey. Home half of the seventh on the way. The Diamondbacks trail it 5-1.
at Chase Field. 7th inning stretch. Giants over the D-backs 5-1. And there is the group that came over from Globe, Arizona, and made the trek in on the Fan Express bus, brought to you by Fox Sports Arizona, as well as Fries and Cox. You can take a look at that. You can stop by and enter to win 2 seats D-backs tickets to the game on September 29th. That will be the final Fan Express bus. So don't miss it. You can go to foxsportsarizona.com for more info and locations. It's a lot of fun. You can just hop on the bus, no cares in the world, drive you to the ballpark, drive you back. And that group from Globe having a great time here today, guys.
I like that. Get on the big red bus and come on down to Chase Field. All the details at foxsportsarizona.com. Everybody puts on the Sedona Red, their D-backs gear, and come on down, drive you back, the whole thing.
No parking worries, no speeding tickets, none of that stuff.
Yusmeiro Petit has put up the stop sign here on the Diamondbacks. A career-high 10 strikeouts as he's out there to open the home half of the 7th inning. He'll face A.J. Pollock, Gerardo Parra, and the pitcher's spot, 7, 8, 9. 11 hits for the Giants, 6 for the Diamondbacks. D-backs trail at 5-1. A.J. 0 for 2. He has struck out twice. Dennis Lamb brought some kettle corn up here in between innings. Base hit. Rally kettle corn is in place.
Boy, do I hope that catches on.
One of the best things you can get here at Chase Field. And a cactus corn. Bring a bucket. And that's going to be it for, there's cactus corn for Yusmeiro Petit. Here comes Bruce Bochy. And the rosters have expanded. What a job by Yusmeiro Petit. 99 pitches, 68 for strikes, a career-high 10 strikeouts. He also had an RBI single, and he will leave here in the 7th. We take a break at Chase Field. Arizona Diamondbacks baseball is presented by Sanderson Ford. Kitties out at the ballpark. Labor Day weekend. Watch the Diamondbacks and Giants here. Yusmeiro Petit exits after 6+. He's responsible for 1 runner. And he leaves after a career-high 10 strikeouts.
Any given Sunday. You just never know what you're going to see. A journeyman pitcher like Petit has struggled off and on throughout his career. Been released, been traded.
Gerardo Parra looks at ball 1 from the new Giants pitcher. This is the left-hander, Jose Mijares.
Saw Mijares in the game last night in relief of Ryan Vogelsong. Pitched 2/3 of an inning, struck out a couple of D-backs, walked a batter. fastball slider changeup combination from the Giants lefty.
Parra has doubled and flied out, 1 for 2. Gerardo Parra hit .263 last month, a big bounce back from July when he hit under 160. .271 on the year, and over 500 at bats for the first time in his career. A.J. Pollock at first after a leadoff single. Center field, Gregor Blanco. Pollock back to the bag, 1 down. Pitcher spot is due up, and we'll see Tony Campana. Tony, 14 games for the D-backs this year. He's got 11 hits and he scored 8 runs. And a nice addition. Rally buckets are in place. Oh, by the way, I looked at Tony, of course, is a Cincinnati Bearcat. How are the Ohio Bobcats faring this afternoon?
They had a rough start to the season.
Who'd they play?
Louisville. The Louisville Cardinals.
Charlie Strong.
Apparently strong enough. The Bobcats don't peak until later in the season.
Yeah, they just lay in the weeds there and sneak up on you at the end of the year.
Consecutive bowl wins the last 2 years. Yeah, a lot of teams win early in the season. It's important to win late.
The old Rich Gedman, Walt Reniak helicopter swing, 1 and 2. I'm getting an update. It was a 49-7.
Ooh.
Ohio Bobcats. Fighting Bobcats. Two and 2.
Well, they still have 9.5 minutes left in that game.
Oh, plenty of time.
A lot of time left.
Tell you what, those college people talk about Diamondback extra inning games. You watched a college football game lately? 7 hours. 2 and 2. Called strike 3 by C.B. Bucknor. 2 down in the 7th.
I don't even want to look. Oh, jeez.
All right. Willie Bloomquist 1 for 3. He singled his last time. And you want to take away that for robot umps.
Yes, I do. Please. Please.
Speaking earlier about how Willie has carved out this role as a super utility guy with his unique skill set. It's enabled him to play 12 years in the big leagues now. And he says he's learned how to respect the uniform and respect the game every time you go out and get the chance to play. And he says once he stops trying to be an everyday guy, that's when he's not going to be very good at what he's doing. And while he certainly has embraced his role over the course of a decade-long career, he thinks of himself as an everyday player and says he has to. And it just shows if you do a lot of little things in this game well, you can play a long time.
And play the game fundamentally sound. You know, you rarely see Willie Bloomquist make mistakes on the field. He may not get a hit every at bat. He's going to make his share of physical errors. Every player does, but it's not because he was in the wrong position or he didn't know what the count was or how many outs there were in an inning. Fundamentally sound players. Managers love those guys.
35 years old. He'll turn 36 in November. (3-0) to Willie.
I know a lot of the fans last night's ball game were upset that Bloomquist got caught in a rundown to end the inning, but he drove in Miguel Montero with that base hit. But if he doesn't get out there in no man's land and force Brandon Belt to cut the ball off, Miggy's probably thrown out at home plate.
Willie Bloomquist 2 for 4. A pair of 3-hit games since his return from the DL, and he's got 2 hits this afternoon. Brings up Adam Eaton, who's been on base twice today. A single, a walk, he scored a run.
With expanded rosters and knowing the way Bruce Bochy likes to use his bullpen, this is probably Mijares' last batter here in Adam Eaton if he does not get it. Paul Goldschmidt waiting in that on-deck circle. I'm sure Boch has a righty available and ready.
Goldie, Prado, Hill, all righties coming up after Adam Spanky Eaton, who flied out his last time. Santiago Casilla warming for the Giants, the right-hander. And Adam Eaton, after struggling after his return in July, bounced back with a big August. He had .312 in August. Scored 17 runs in 24 games. And a big part of this lineup over the last 30 days. And I still find it very interesting that he's really settled in nicely to the 2-hole after all the talk during spring training about him being the leadoff guy. And the fact that there really aren't any prototypical leadoff hitters in the game anymore, and that he might, in a way, be kind of a throwback to those types of players.
Well, that's not saying that he might not end up at the top of the order starting the season next year, but just the way the ball club is configured right now, he's a nice fit in that 2 spot.
And he says he likes it, says he sees a few free pitches before his first at bat while he's out there in the on-deck circle. Jose Mijares having issues locating. He's thrown more balls than strikes so far. A.J. Pollock, the runner at second. Willie Bloomquist at first. 3-1 to Adam Spanky Eaton. Whoa, hold on there.
It's not all bad to run the count to full right there. Mijares had been struggling to throw strikes on that 3-1 pitch. He finds the bottom of the zone, but now with 2 outs and a full count, the runners will be on the move.
Good speed on the bases with A.J. at second and Willie at first. Adam Eaton trying to find a gap, hit one down the line, get the D-backs back in this thing. 33,000 plus at Chase. Lights it off into left. It drops in. A.J. Pollock will score, and it's a 5-2 ball game. Adam Eaton, his 13th RBI. Third hit in this inning for the Diamondbacks.
Nice battling at bat that time by Adam Eaton. Ultimately gets a fastball inside corner of the plate and kind of inside outs it right down that left field line. Lead with the hands, let the barrel of the bat drag behind, line drive to left.
And that is it for Jose Mijares. 3 right-handers coming up. Pitching change. Diamondbacks have something going in the 7th. We're back after this. Yusmeiro Petit started off this inning by giving up a single to A.J. Pollock, and that was it for him. Pollock has just scored the second Diamondback run. 2 more hits in the inning. And everyone here has their heart belonging to 44. Goldie steps in, and he is the tying run at the plate with 2 outs against the right-hander. This is Santiago Casilla. Goldie so far 0 for 3, struck out twice against Petit, who struck out a career-high 10. Willie Bloomquist at second, Adam Eaton at first. Lifts it high in the air to left center. Blanco, deepest part of the ballpark. 5-2 through 7. I'm a 2014 D-backs season ticket holder. Check out a full season, half series, or even a weekend season ticket plan. So buy or renew your 2014 season tickets and guarantee postseason seats by calling 602-462-4600 or log on to dbacks.com/tickets. All kinds of benefits to becoming a season ticket holder. Exclusive access to the ballpark and special events. Check out Season Ticket Headquarters, Section 111 here at Chase Field, and they will answer all your questions. New pitcher for the Diamondbacks as we start the 8th, just back from AAA Reno with the expanded rosters here in September. This is the left-hander, Tony Sipp.
We showed you the numbers earlier from his time at AAA Reno. Was 1-0 with 1 save, did not allow an earned run in 10 innings worked.
Tony Sipp and David Hernandez have rejoined the Diamondbacks as rosters expand. Is there a good way or a bad way to go about the roster expansion? Do you go nuts all in one shot or kind of piecemeal it here and there?
I think a lot of times it just depends on what you have going on in your minor league system. Some teams are looking forward to the playoffs starting probably Tuesday or Wednesday of this week, and obviously you want to let those guys finish their season if they have a chance to win a championship, unless you're in a pennant race and there's somebody down there that fills a need at the major league level. Different organizations have different philosophies. Some teams like to use the September call-up as a reward for a good season in the minor leagues. First pitch in there for a called strike. No, it wasn't. It was a ball because it was right down the middle of the plate, CB.
Pablo Sandoval 2 for 3, a pair of singles.
Other teams only call up players if, as I said, if they plug a hole, if they fill a need, something you want to see in the month of September. Trying to get your team into the postseason at the major league level.
Pablo Sandoval grew up in Venezuela. His idol was Omar Vizquel. The Panda was a Little League shortstop and dreamt of being the next Omar Vizquel, but a little disparity in the body type.
I think he ate Omar Vizquel for breakfast.
He figured out he needed to start out as a catcher. Didn't have the Omar Vizquel type body. Said he liked catcher. It was a natural leadership position, but he was born left-handed. So when he was 9 years old, he learned to throw righty. It is amazing how many shortstops you talk to, and we always think of the Wizard of Oz and all that, but Omar Vizquel, he is the shortstop in a lot of ways. Leadoff walk for the Panda.
Save that video.
He just went down a notch on the old WW list.
Sandoval, 438 at bats coming into play today, only 34 base on balls, which is actually a relatively high number for him.
So here's Roger Kieschnick, who came into the game to play left field. He's sitting in Brett Pill's spot. Kieschnick struck out twice in a pair of pinch hit appearances in this series.
Looks like Panda borrowed Gerardo Parra's oven mitt down there at first base.
Become trendy. Oh, 0-2. Nicely played by Bert Peterson down there. Heath Bell warming up in the Diamondback bullpen. Looking at the Pandas contract, he's in the books for $8.25 million next year, and then he can become a free agent in 2015. And it speaks to the bigger picture issue here. And you were talking about, Bob, with rosters expanding and different ball clubs' priorities. The Giants in a little bit of a transition period here. They have some questions they need answered with guys like Hunter Pence and Tim Lincecum. One more year on the Panda at third. If you think he's going to really balloon once he gets to about 30 years old, which he's headed there.
I mean, there's never been any doubt that Pablo Sandoval can hit. He gets the bat on the ball as consistently as any hitter in the National League, but you're just constantly concerned with injuries that will crop up because of his weight issues. Still moves very well for a big man, but boy, you'd love to see him, you know, maybe 30 pounds lighter. See what he could do down there at third base then.
0-2. There's a guy to watch. Of course, we're all watching what the Reds are doing every day here, and they're now losing 6-2 in the 7th inning at Coors Field. The Reds tomorrow will call up the fastest player in baseball, Billy Hamilton. And 395 stolen bases in 5 seasons in the Reds system. This year he went 75 for 90 in his stolen base attempts. Talking about how Tony Campana could be used as a weapon off the bench in September. Billy Hamilton, ooh, he is something to see.
I'm just trying to think of that Reds lineup and where Dusty could use Billy Hamilton as a pinch runner late in the game if they needed stolen base to get into scoring position. Certainly you're not going to pinch run. Well, maybe you would for Jay Bruce, depending on the game situation, but you sure hate to take his bat out if it ends up a tie game. Votto's not coming out. Phillips is not coming out. I guess the shortstop position, Paul Cozart, if you've got a backup infielder, you might pinch run in that slot. Todd Frazier at third base. Certainly the catchers would be pinch run candidates.
It's interesting. They got Shin-Soo Choo, who has worked out better than anyone possibly could have thought. He has been fantastic as their center fielder, but he's headed toward free agency after this year. There was the thought that he'd sort of be a one-year bridge to get them to Billy Hamilton, who was being converted from a shortstop to a center fielder. But Choo has done so well, and Hamilton might not hit enough. Kind of stepping back there and saying, maybe we go another 2 or 3 years with Shin-Soo Choo in center field.
Well, he has been really good for him. Exactly what they needed, and a high on-base percentage guy at the top of that Reds order.
Yeah, the Reds team stole 41 bases this year. Billy Hamilton, all by himself, stole 75. And he is something to watch. Speed. So as you watch the Reds here over the course of the next month, just keep an eye in the box score or your video clips on your device for some Billy Hamilton highlights.
I find this a little shocking.
Shin-Soo Choo had a home run in that Reds game.
You know who has the fewest stolen bases in the National League?
Pittsburgh?
No.
Giants?
No.
Diamondbacks.
The St. Louis Cardinals. Now, only because when I played against the Cardinals, that's what they were all about. They had a track team. Everybody could steal up and down that lineup. Cardinals have stolen 38 bases this year in 53 attempts.
I'm trying to think. There's nobody in that lineup that really runs. Another 3-2 to Kieschnick. He's got a big league at bat going right here against Tony Sipp. Pitch number 12 on the way. Yeah, that Cardinals team, they just mash. Alan Craig driving in runs. Matt Holliday's had an enormous second half. Matt Carpenter had a breakthrough season. Molina's back now. Way up in the air to Parra. One away. By the way, what's the score of that game? The Cardinals beat the Pirates 7-2. The biggest series that Pittsburgh's seen in years, welcoming in the Cardinals for 3 games at PNC Park. And the Pirates were on the verge of a sweep. And they added Justin Morneau, of course. Pittsburgh but went and got Marlon Byrd, and Byrd homered in his first game, and now they added Justin Morneau to play first base. Maybe you wonder why Neil Huntington didn't do that a couple of weeks ago, but he'll certainly take it. And now those teams are dead even atop the National League Central at 79 and 57. And how about they kind of snuck this one in last night? Michael Young is now a Dodger, in case you missed that. Jason Kubel, by the way, had a base hit, a single in his first Indians at bat against Justin Verlander. Boy, the Dodgers just keep collecting guys. Got Volquez, now they had Michael Young. Sky high pop up, shallow left center. AJ. That's the second out. Now they stuck Michael Young in under the wire there, and I'm told he is eligible for the postseason.
Hey, if you're in an organization on September 1st, whether you're at the major league level, whether you're on the 25-man roster, the 40-man roster, as long as you're within the organization on September 1st, you can maneuver a guy into the big leagues, and he can be eligible for your playoff roster.
They keep adding pieces, and Michael Young is certainly a good one to have. He can play a variety of positions. Gregor Blanco, 1 for 3, singled in the 4th. And so now the Pirates and the Cardinals all knotted up 79 and 57 atop the NL Central. Reds are 3 back. Also got to keep an eye now on the suddenly surging Washington Nationals, who are only a game and a half behind the Diamondbacks in the race for that second wild card spot. They are the Nationals 7.5 games behind Cincinnati. The D-backs are 6 back. Nationals finally showing some signs of life. It's been a puzzling season for them, certainly. And they are 15 games behind the Braves in the NL East. 1 game over 500 for the year. High in the air, third base side. Adam Eaton coming in. And Tony Sipp strands the leadoff walk. Will head to the home half of the 8th. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Coming up for the Diamondbacks. Martin Prado, Aaron Hill, and Miguel Montero. Diamondbacks looking for some runs here. Getting late at Chase Field.
Bottom of the 8th at Chase Field here on this Sunday. Jody Jackson alongside Roger Klein of Roger Klein and the Peacemakers. Roger, great to see you here. I know it means a lot to you, a lot of Arizona pride. You're a native.
Yep.
What does it feel like to be back and be playing here today after the game? Big concert.
I rarely get cold feet, but I get cold feet on this one because it's such an amazing venue, and the crowd's usually really pumped. I look forward to it all year. I got butterflies, but it's going to rock. It's going to be a lot of fun.
We hear D-backs swing quite often, and I have to ask you, of course, after a win here, we've had 12 walk-offs this season.
Yeah.
So a lot of them have been very dramatic. Any talk of a possible walk-off version?
Yeah, we just make it twice as long, That's all we do, just loop it.
I kid, though. Great job. I know your band, I was just in there talking that you guys were in Vegas last night, and then you have some more coming up, right? Busy schedule.
Yeah, we were in Vegas last night. It was tough to leave, kind of tough to get up. We're going into the studio in the middle of the month after we finish a little tour in Southern California, and we're going to work on new music for release either late this year or early next.
Great. And I know finally your passion for the local scene here in Arizona, and you guys make it a point, despite your busy schedule, to try to play here every year, right? It seems like it.
Yes, yeah, we do. It's like I said, it's a really exciting, it's a fun play, it's a community building experience. It's just a ball, so it's one of my favorites.
It's great. Roger, thanks for the time. We're going to let him and the Peacemakers go get ready. And, of course, we love to hear D-back swing, especially when it means dirt, water, mud, Martin Prado, all that good stuff, guys. Back to you.
Loop it. Let's just keep that thing looped. It's a good song. Some of those songs are like the one that, look, all due respect, the one the Cubs play. What is that? How does that go again? Cubs?
Oh, don't even make me sing it. Go Cubs, go.
Yeah, go Cubs, go. That John Machie is on for the Giants. That one needs work.
Watch out.
Casilla back out there, and he buzzes the tower on Prado. Casilla was wild in this series. We saw him in the series opener. He had a hard time throwing strikes. Out of play.
Well, you heard Eric Chavez talking about it earlier in the ball game. Our quote of the day, talking about what do they try to do in the end of close ball games. Grind good at bats. Have good at bats. That's a common thing you'll hear in the dugout when a team's trying to come back late in a ball game and not go up there and get a hit, go up and hit a home run. Go up there and have a good at bat. And sometimes that means just working that pitcher, taking the base on balls, set it up for the guy behind you.
Roll to second. Tony Abreu. They retire Prado, one away in the gate. Aaron Hill 0 for 3.
Second baseman, Aaron Hill.
Don't forget Cup of Coffee with Aaron Hill coming up a week from today, the debut episode. College football back in swing. Aaron, a big LSU Tiger. We talked about playing in that program, which is just a fantastic collegiate baseball program. Well hit to left. Kieschnick at the wall. He's got room. That's the second out.
There have been some balls hit out that direction. Goldie earlier in the game hit one just to the left to straightaway center. Aaron Hill that time to straightaway left. Looked like they had a chance off the bat, but just didn't get the carry they needed.
FansMLB.com at bat, #1 source for live baseball everywhere you go. Available for iPhone, iPad, Android, BlackBerry 10. At Bat delivers D-backs baseball, live audio, pitch tracking, stats, news, highlights, and more. So text at Bat to 31826 or visit dbacks.com for details. Two down. Here's Miguel Montero 0 for 3. He has struck out twice.
Talked about the Nationals working their way back into that National League wild card race. They play later tonight against the Mets. Left-hander Jonathan Neese for the Mets against Ross Ohlendorf of the Nationals.
Got a vibe for the NL Central. Pirates, Cardinals dead even atop the division. Reds right behind.
I've learned my lesson. I never pick against the Cardinals. Somehow, some way, they always find a way to get there.
It is hard to do.
Well, that's not to take anything away from the Pirates. They've got an outstanding ball club. They've had an amazing year up to this point, but I just think the experience that some of those Cardinal players have had in, September baseball, playoff baseball, I think it's going to work in the Cardinals' advantage down the stretch.
Miggy strikes out for the third time today, and we will head to the ninth at Chase Field. The Diamondbacks trail the Giants 5-2. Ninth inning at Chase Field. Diamondbacks trail at 5-2. Tony Sipp back out there. Marco Scutaro in the on-deck circle. He will hit for the pitcher. So Scutaro, Arias, Abreu, 9-1-2 in the Giant ninth. Tony Sipp back out there for his second inning of work. Just called up from AAA Reno with a roster expansion today. He and David Hernandez have rejoined the Diamondbacks. Sipp walks Sandoval to lead off the eighth and got 3 fly ball outs. And it's back out there for the ninth. Diamondbacks one more here against the Giants. 1 inning more in this series, then 3 against the Blue Jays starting tomorrow. So here's Marco Scutaro. Scutaro on base twice in last night's game. He walked, had an RBI triple, and scored a run. He has it safely in 7 of his last 9 games. Conference time at the mound. Kirk Gibson out to make a change. Scutaro announced. Gibby immediately out of the dugout. And we'll have a new pitcher. Here comes Heath Bell. We're back after this. and it's another day at the office for Martin Prado. Couple of hits, couple of big defensive plays.
Used the whole tool belt again today. Stays red hot at the plate. One of the finer defensive plays we've seen all year, going into foul territory with the jump throw to Goldie just in time to get the out at first base. What a day.
Ram Trucks, tools of the trade. New pitcher for the Diamondbacks to open the ninth inning is the Heath Bell Experience. His 62nd appearance of the year. He'll work to the pinch hitter Marco Scutaro. Heath Bell, 64 hits, 64 strikeouts in just under 58 innings this year. Scutaro, Arias, Abreu, 9-1-2 here in the San Francisco ninth. Scutaro, 297 on the year. He hit over 300 in July, but dipped below 230 for August. Heath Bell worked a quick 1-2-3 ninth in Tuesday's win over the Padres, but then had a rough time of it against San Diego on Wednesday. He allowed 3 runs on 4 hits in his inning of work, including a couple of home runs. Base hit for Scutaro. Shoots it into right for a leadoff single.
We were talking about Hunter Pence earlier in the ball game, a guy that really doesn't care what it looks like as long as he gets the job done. Marco Scutaro's a guy that falls into that category as well. Might not always be pretty, but gets the bat on the ball, moves it around the field from foul line to foul line. That time a little soft liner into right for a base hit.
Joaquin Arias getting the start at shortstop today, 0 for 4. He knocks one into center field. Scutaro stops at second. A pair of leadoff singles greet Heath Bell in the ninth.
Hey, congratulations in order for Todd Helton, Rockies first baseman. Got his 2,500th career hit today. 17 seasons in the big leagues. Won a batting title back in 2000. 5-time All-Star. 3 Gold Gloves. Yeah, we were kicking this around a little bit earlier. Is he a Hall of Famer? I don't know. 365 career homers, over 1,300 RBI. A lot of people will penalize him because he played half his games at Coors Field, but that's not his fault.
He will get penalized, however.
I think for sure he belongs in the Hall of the very, very good.
It can be argued that he's something of a compiler, which is kind of a dirty word when talking about Hall of Fame voting. Guys that play long time and have very good careers, but to never have that standout individual season or seasons. But at the end of things, they have impressive numbers. And Todd Helton is probably in that category. So that combined probably with a Coors Field prejudice may give him some issues on the Hall of Fame ballot. Hall of Very Good for You is just shy of Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I think that's where he's going to end up. I'll tell you what, there was a long stretch of his career, though, you would definitely take him on your team. Boy, he was something. He was a tremendous defender at first base. He was one of those guys I like to call pushers. He was always pushing his team, making his teammates better.
Throw down to second. Scutaro is back just in time, says Bill Miller. Abreu pulled back in time on the bunt attempt. Scutaro got hung up just a bit out there.
Very close. Good snap throw that time from Miggy. This is always tough for that runner at second base. You're trying to get as big a jump as you possibly can should the batter bunt the ball in fair territory, but occasionally you can get out there a step or two further than you should be, and you become susceptible to that pickoff.
Joe Thatcher warming for the D-backs. Another throw down, and now Scudero is hung up, but he makes it into third. He had a big lead down there. Big enough to get into third safely.
I wonder if he almost baited Miggy into that throw to second base. You see the late secondary lead. He saw Miguel Montero coming out of the chute and just turned and broke for third base. Throw one hops out there. By the time Willie's able to corral it, no chance to throw on to third.
Stolen base for Scudero. First and third now, nobody out. And a 2-2 count on Tony Abreu. There's the strikeout. First out of the ninth. Brings up Buster Posey. There is a final from Ohio. Or Louisville, I should say. You want the bad news? Or?
Yeah, it's just a football game.
49-7. But it was closer than the score indicated. Look about Todd Helton. He, of course, was Peyton Manning's backup quarterback at Tennessee, a volunteer. It's funny, if you use the word backup quarterback, the Rockies PR staff gets upset because they point out that's not entirely true. He actually was not the backup. Todd Helton was actually ahead of Peyton Manning on the Volunteers depth chart coming out of fall camp in '94. They were both backing up the starting quarterback at the time, Jerry Colquitt. But Colquitt blew out his knee in the opening game against UCLA. And it was Helton and not Peyton Manning who came in. And Todd Helton got most of the playing time in that game against the Bruins when Colquitt went down. Tennessee still lost, but Helton and not Peyton Manning started next week at Georgia. And Todd Helton went 9 of 13 with a touchdown and a win for Tennessee. He started the next game. They got trounced by Florida State. And then the week after that, Helton sprained an MCL against Mississippi State. And then came this third stringer named Peyton Manning.
Who?
And that was it. So technically, Todd Helton was actually ahead of Peyton Manning on the depth chart.
I did not know that.
Oh, 2. 1-2.
Well, for the Ohio University Bobcats, they're going to sorely miss their great quarterback they've had for the last number of years, Tyler Tettleton, the son of Mickey Tettleton, former Major League Baseball player.
You're making that up.
No, Tyler Tettleton was the quarterback for the Ohio University Bobcats the last 2 seasons when they won bowl games.
Is he in Edmonton Eskimo right now, or somewhere? Where's? We don't know.
I don't know.
All right.
Once they leave campus, I lose track.
They're out. It's out of your hands. Tebow just got cut. See that?
Yeah.
He's out. Speaking of the Canadian Football League. Labor Day is a big deal for the Canadian Football League. They spell Labor Day with a U. And they have it's a whole big weekend of games up there in the CFL. 2-2. Buster Posey, 2 for 4, a couple of singles. He scored a run. Drives that one into left. Base hit. Scudero will score. Arias is on the run. They'll wave him in. (7-2) Giants. 2-run double for Buster Posey.
goes down and gets a curveball down in the zone. Golfs it down in that left field corner. Adam Eaton had a little trouble with the carom there. Kind of hit on the side of that pole and bounced back toward the infield rather than ricocheting right to him. And that allowed third base coach Tim Flannery to wave Arias around from first base.
Third hit in the inning against Heath Bell. Here's Hunter Pence, who's had a big day. Walked and scored in the second. Doubled and scored in the fourth. Homered in the fifth. Oof. Feel the breeze up here.
Well, since it's his last game of the series and I haven't used it yet. If this was a Western movie,
yeah,
the sheriff would organize a posse to go look for the rustlers that stole Hunter Pence's calves.
Are you suggesting he's spindly legs?
Spindly. That's a good word for it.
Well, the high socks don't help.
They don't help at all.
Look at those pants. Can we pan down to the pants as I direct the show from the booth? Or tilt down? He's got they're rolled up. They're like waiters.
It's like the White Sox. What I can't remember the exact year, but they wore shorts one year.
Bill Veeck, that was 76 or 7, I want to say.
He's got those pants up above his knees.
Go trout fishing in those. Right back up the box. Here comes Buster. Here's the throw from A.J. Pollock. Not in time. Miggy cuts it off. Play at second. Pence is in there, and it's 8-2 Giants. Third hit today for Hunter Pence. 2 doubles and a homer. See if they score that a double.
A rare mistake by A.J. Pollock out there in center field. He just airmailed everybody. Throw was well over the cutoff man as Gibby heads out to the mound right here. And when Pence saw that throw over the cutoff man, he almost broke his spindly legs trying to late slide into second.
15 hits for the Giants. They lead at 8-2. Pitching change at Chase Field. Joe Thatcher on for the 65th time this season. That ties his career high set in 2010 with the Padres. Joe has made 14 appearances with the Diamondbacks this year. He has an ERA with the D-backs of over 9.5. He comes on here to face Pablo Sandoval. 4 hits in the inning against Heath Bell. Single and an RBI for Pence. He's on second with 1 out. The Panda a pair of singles. He walked his last time up. Joe Thatcher worked in Tuesday's game against the Padres, faced 1 batter, gave up a hit and a run. With the Diamondbacks this season, Joe has given up 6 runs on 9 hits in 5 2/3. He's also walked 6. By the way, I'm told that Tettleton is still at Ohio U.
Well, apparently he
He's
is.
just in.
5th-year senior.
Played like he had left the program. It's plenty of time.
It's early.
He'll turn this thing around.
This is the equivalent of spring training.
$11 of 23 for 140.
Probably a lot of drop passes, I'm sure.
He'll coach him up. Wasn't the old ball coach the first guy ever? So we'll coach him up. Steve Spurrier.
Well, some of them you can coach up. Some of them will get you fired.
Nobody gets coaches fired better than dumb players. Don't forget, back with you tomorrow from Chase Field, opener of a 3-game series against the Blue Jays. Brett Lawrie, Encarnacion, some of the other big Blue Jay names. Jose Reyes will be in here. That'll be interesting. I'll have to get up some, go deep into the Blue Jay file and get some Brenly video.
There's not much.
Left fielder Roger Keishner.
Old exhibition stadium.
Unless somebody actually televised me warming up pitchers in the bullpen, it's unlikely you'll be able to find any actual game action.
I'm told that they are efforting.
Efforting, okay.
Which is a big buzzword around here.
Some international laws that have to be bypassed.
Issues at customs we've run into, but making some calls. First pitch swinging. Parra. It's 8-2 as we head to the bottom of the 9th at Chase Field. 9 at Chase Field. Diamondbacks trail at 8-2. New pitcher for the Giants to work the home half of the ninth is Mike Kickham. Called from AAA Fresno August 23rd. This is his 5th appearance, make it 7th appearance for the Giants. He was a starter with AAA Fresno, had an ERA of 4.31, 90 strikeouts in 110 innings. That's his major league numbers right there. Rocking out here, Chase Field. Roger Klein of the Peacemakers coming up as soon as the ball game is over. Big Labor Day weekend, which continues tomorrow as we welcome in the Toronto Blue Jays for the first of 3. A.J. Pollock will lead off the ninth. Pollock, Parra, and the pitcher's spot, 7, 8, and 9. A.J. 1 for 3, singled and scored his last time up. Big day for Hector Sanchez behind the plate. And an RBI ground out, a 2-run double. He scored a run, also had a single in the 6th. Kickham rings up Pollock to open the 9th. Third time today AJ has struck out. One away. Gerardo Parra. Reds still trailing at Colorado, now 7-3 in the 8th. Dodgers have beaten the Padres 2-1 behind Zach Greinke. So the Diamondbacks will drop 11.5 games behind LA. If both these scores hold with the Reds and D-backs, it will stay 6 for that second National League wild card.
And that Nationals-Mets game tonight suddenly becomes a little more important.
You got to start worrying about the Nationals now, too. Roll to second, Tony Abreu. 2 up, 2 down in the 9th. And Will Nieves will hit for the pitcher. Well, it's baseball. You got Patrick Corbin versus Yusmeiro Petit. One guy was an all-star, the other guy making just his second big league start, and Petit struck out a career-high 10. Patrick lasted 5 innings. You just never know. Will Nieves 1 for 4 in his last start. He started Wednesday's game against the Padres. 322 on the year. Will, as a pinch hitter this season, 6 for 15 with 4 RBIs. 1-2. Sun creeping through the panels. Cindy Brunson, Jody Jackson at Diamondbacks Live as soon as the ball game is over. Back with you tomorrow. Don't forget day game tomorrow, Blue Jays and Diamondbacks. Toronto shut out at home at the Rogers Center by the Royals 5-0. Bounce to the Panda at third. And that's the ball game. The Giants beat the Diamondbacks 8-2. And so San Francisco with a 1-0 win and an 8-2 win takes 2 of 3 in the series. And they are 7-2 at Chase Field this year, Bob. They're making themselves a little too comfortable. And we'll see them next week at AT&T Park.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have better luck at AT&T. The Giants haven't really defended their home turf so well this season, so hopefully the Diamondbacks can return the favor when we go to AT&T next week.
8-2 your final score. Giants out hit the D-backs 59. Ismero Petit strikes out a career high 10, and we start Diamondbacks Live with Cindy Brunson. Cindy.
Thanks so much. Let's put a bow on this day as we start the first day of September in the loss column. Unfortunately, we'll break it all down for you here on Diamondbacks Live. Let you know what's ahead, including the matchup against the Blue Jays. They hit town tomorrow. All that and much more ahead as the San Francisco Giants look like a team that's won 2 of the last 3 World Series, taking 2 out of 3 here at Chase Field. Diamondbacks Live, presented by CenturyLink, comes your way. Do stick and stay.